Hello, and we're happy to have spokesperson of the MEA, Mr. Vikas Swarup, with us. Thank you, Vikas, sir, for being with us. The first question we have for you as a personal question, for you being an influencer of soft power, first as an author with Q&A, and then being a part of India's soft power, guiding the MEA, what would you suggest? How has that changed?
No, what has changed is India's own brand identity. I think now the world looks at India with a different kind of a light, with a lot of respect as a country which is growing very fast. We are the fastest growing major economy in the world, as a country which has fantastic human resources potential. You know, our IT engineers are doing very well, our pharma companies are doing very well. And again, if you look at the major corporations around the world, so many of them are headed by Indians, you know, who had their early education in India. That itself also contributes to India's soft power. But most importantly, I think what really people think of when they think of India is a country which is a model for diversity. You know, we are a country with all kinds of religion, all kinds of beliefs, all kinds of cultural traditions, languages, food habits, and yet they're all living together, working together, moving together, you know, as part of the unity and diversity framework. So that, I think, is India's greatest soft power.
Right. It's great that you touched upon what it has become today, but how does it change from what it was? Like Director Kabir Khan also stated that it's moved from curry and Bollywood. So what do you say it is today, especially from all your travels with the Prime Minister so far?
As I said, I mentioned those points. One is, of course, the Indian economy, the dynamic Indian economy. You know, for many years, we did not really grow very fast before our economic reforms started. We were saddled with a 3.5 rate growth only. But since then, we have been growing at the rate of 8%, 9%, 10%, and even now, we are the fastest growing major economy in the world. So that has led the world to look at India with a different light altogether. The secondly, as I said, was the success of our diaspora. The fact that the Indian immigrant community has done so well and has been a model community in virtually every country that it has based itself in, is again, you know, telling the world that Indians can be, you know, can be great and can be a model community for the rest of the world. Thirdly, again, the power of our spirituality, whether it is our yoga, Ayurveda, our whole you know, tradition of Indian writing in English. Salman Rushdie, Arundhati Roy, Aravinda Diga, people who have won Booker prizes and other kinds of prizes, adds to India as a knowledge economy. So I think all these, if you look at it in totality, it tells you that a very confident new India is emerging on the horizon, an India which is no longer shackled by the burdens of the past, an India which can confidently assume its place in the Comity of Nations, and that is making the world sit up and take notice.
That's wonderful. As you said, people and culture are what the main answers that together make India soft power today. But since the MEA itself engages in a lot of soft power just by its own office, what would you say draws the line between soft power and propaganda?
Look, there's always a thin line between, you know, between publicity and propaganda. So you have to situate what you are speaking about in a particular context. If you situate it, for instance, when I talk about yoga, then I situate it in the 5,000 years of history of yoga. You know, how it started with Patanjali, the Yoga Sutras and things like that. And now it's modern incarnations. That how yoga is now seen as a holistic health lifestyle. You know, but at the same time, it's still moved to its spiritual origins also. So when you talk about things in a particular context, then they do not seem like propaganda. Then because there is a obvious basis to what I'm saying. I'm not talking in thin air. So I think it's important that whatever you say should be grounded in facts. If it is grounded in facts, it cannot be seen as propaganda.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your time. Thank you.